Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability.
How many shows?
Welcome to another episode of Silicon Valley Tech, Art, Green, and Sustainability. Today I'm honored to have a gentleman joining me who I've known for quite a while, and he's been doing film and video and interesting stuff, so we're going to be hearing all about what Chris Denise has been doing.
Great. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm so glad. So tell us a little bit about your background and where you're from. I think you're from the Bay Area originally.
Sure, yeah. I actually grew up in the Bay Area. Did a lot of Boy Scouting growing up. My father was very into that. My older brother was as well.
I think I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and actually became an Eagle Scout and then went down south to Riverside for school. So I went there for a business degree, changed that to a comparative literature degree, and then eventually decided to open a pizza restaurant because I had been delivering pizza for years.
I didn't know that about you. How funny.
Yeah, I found with the pizza restaurant that I was more suited to the artistry of creating food than I was the administrative side of running a day-to-day business. And unfortunately that failed, so I moved back up here. I had a lot of debt to pay off, so I took a lot of jobs for a while. And one of those jobs, I was working at a ski rental shop that I'd worked at in my youth, and the owner decided to sell. And so I just mentioned it to my father, and he decided, oh, that'd be a great retirement business to run. So he decided to buy it.
Your father who never will retire?
Yes. My father has still not retired. This was 6 years ago. So I then ran that business for him for a couple of years. But I had started doing film with a friend of mine a couple of years earlier. And right around the time a couple of years of running the ski rental shop had gone through, my friend and I's business, Real Eagle, had started to take off. And he and I were both Eagle Scouts as well. Hence
so is that
name.
Because the Eagle Scout, the name?
Exactly. Hence Real Eagle Productions. And so I had to, take off from the ski rental shop and focus mostly on film and video. And then my partner at the time decided to pursue engineering as a career instead of film. So he split and left the company. And I decided I needed to find a new direction, so I opened a studio. And 4 years later, here I am.
So was that like 2009 or?
So I opened the studio in 2010.
Okay.
We actually started right next to the ski rental shop because there was a vacancy there and I wanted an office. And after about 3 months of working with a whole bunch of new people I'd never met before and finding, kind of discovering this huge film community in the Bay Area, I realized I needed more space to do what we wanted to do. So I opened the studio in Santa Clara and we've been there ever since.
I know, I forgot to pull the first slide up, so let's pull that up. We actually met through some folks in the Green Building. And I think this is the Adobe Building.
Yeah,
did you take this shot then?
I did. This is Adobe Towers downtown. One of our first clients as a film company was Adobe Systems Incorporated. They had us do, they've been doing a lot of green building and sustainable work. So they wanted to document.
And so that was about 2009, 2008?
This is actually about 2005.
2005?
Yeah, they approached us in 2005 and we didn't really get started on the project till about 2007. We went through and created a kind of a green building documentation video for them to show off what they had done because they had been doing so much work but had never really told anybody about it.
So was that the triple platinum buildings?
That was exactly the 3 platinum rated green buildings.
They were the first LEED platinum, and for the folks that don't know, LEED is Leadership in Environmental Design, and was started by the USGBC, who I was heavily involved with in late 2007, 2008, and helped launch the Silicon Valley branch, which is how we met through our mutual association. And so, of course, before anybody comes on the show, I Googled to see what they've been doing, and that was one of the first photos that came up.
Very cool.
At the top of the image part of it.
That's awesome. That photo is actually on the wall at Adobe. That was a series of photographs they asked me to take for them and blow up to large wall size proportions.
Have you gone back and filmed some of the other things that they've been doing too?
Actually, I have. One of my fun stories is about one of the projects we did for them that was incredibly last second and very, very difficult to pull off, but we ended up just nailing it. So it was a lot of fun to work with the guys at Adobe. They're very fun and they're very open to creative suggestion.
Have you filmed the worm boxes?
I have not.
I think that would be interesting. So tell us about what you do with Real Eagle then. What's your film and video jobs you do? I mean, is it mostly corporate? Tell us, and I think we have a couple sample photos too.
Sure. So we started out doing mostly corporate videography, and we've branched since we opened the studio into basically providing a support structure for the local independent community in terms of offering certain services that are difficult to find, like set construction and building and things like that. And we kind of split between that and corporate and commercial production.
Well, let's pull up the next slide too, because when I Googled you, these were some of the images that came up that struck me. I really liked this. So, and you helped on the set design on this?
Yeah, well, I not just helped. For the most part, I build and design all the sets that we have.
And there's another,
at Real Eagle. This was from a movie called Warpath, and I did all of the in-house set design at the studio. Basically, it was a music video that was originally for just a contest for Lincoln Park, and the director got so many accolades from just the music video itself that he decided to turn it into a full-length feature film. So they've been shooting that. They completed their principal photography in January, and they just came back yesterday.
And you were actually an actor in that too, set design.
I was a little bit of an actor. I get thrown into a wall in my own studio and break a big panel in the wall. And one of the funny things about that was they came back a week later to do some pickup shots and went, "Where's the hole in the wall?" And I said, "That's what we do here. We break things and fix them back up."
Let's pull up the other slide too. And I think this one we'll get to see here. So is this is something you built too? It's a spaceship?
So this is a spaceship we built in the studio. There was a lot of different people involved with that because this is it was an extensive set. You can see a lot of different lighting pieces in there. And the way this needed to work was they were using a 35mm camera, so actual cinema. It was a big Russian box, and all the lighting that's up there is specifically designed to flicker on and off at certain points, to drop out and become emergency red lights, to do all sorts of different things. So we had to be very, very specific with our set design so that at a moment's notice, when the cue came, the lights would turn on red, when the ship got shot by something, you know, that sort of thing. And it was one of the most extensive set builds we've ever had in the studio.
So you get to play a lot for work, which is fun. What are some of the categories that you work with specifically? And you know, do you work with mostly business videos? Do you?
Yeah, we do.
I know you started off doing a lot of that.
Yeah, we kind of split between video and photography. I do a lot of product photography and that sort of you know, photo, headshots, commercial photography, that sort of thing. You notice the photos that we did for Adobe, and we do that sort of stuff.
There was a couple of risque photos I couldn't put up here that when I Googled your work, and it's like, okay, I'm not putting that one up. That might not be PG enough for Create TV.
We've done a lot of modeling photography, and we rent to a lot of modeling photographers at the studio at this point, because it's been very supplemental. As much fun as it is to build extremely elaborate sets, they don't come every month or every week. So we do have to rent to other people and that sort of thing. But we've done a lot of stuff for magazine and print related work. I think one of our models that we've shot at the studio has been in Maxim, things like that. So,
is there one category that you like working with more? Is there a favorite type of thing you like to do
I would say, I have to say there's two. One is I really like supporting the independent projects because they're always so different. Every single one is a different idea and they're very creative. And I really like, on the other side of things, I really like the creative commercial stuff. There's something very fulfilling about doing, I don't know, a product demonstration or an educational or training video, knowing that as much as it's cinema, it has real world value. You have, you know, taken what somebody had to pay $10,000 per presentation, and now you've turned it into a video that they can send out for $10, and you have, you know, really done some real effective work.
Let's pull up another slide here. I think we might have something with your film stuff. Yes, you've been getting into film. Tell us about this.
So yeah, we took a little bit of a crack at some independent film projects when we first started the studio.
And it's Gunfolk.
And we took a break for a while, but we're currently working on a project called Gunfolk. It's a pilot for a series. We're pitching it to Netflix and Yahoo and Hulu and a few other folks. But it's a kind of combination of spaghetti western and zombies and vampires and some of the supernatural, because it's partly because it's real popular and partly because I just really like that stuff. And I think
people can
fun.
go to YouTube and see a clip in it of it right now, or maybe even two clips.
Yeah, there's actually a number of clips on YouTube right now. You can see our original piece, which we shot a demo reel for a Clint Eastwood impersonator.
Yeah, he did look. I was going, wait a sec, but he's not that young anymore.
No, the guy looks very, very similar to him. So we did a demo reel. It kind of inspired the idea of, well, let's do something more with this, because it was just a scene. So you can see that scene online, and you can also see a few different of the demonstration and interview pieces we've done. We're actually getting ready to shoot our first vignettes in a couple of weeks, so you'll have some little narrative pieces with a little.
So
little
explain
zombie.
what that is. Little shots.
So
vignettes.
a vignette is about a 2-minute piece. It's kind of a promotional piece. It's when you watch an episode of something, it's 30 minutes long, and a vignette might be a little scene teaser out of the middle of it that says, "Oh, I want to see what comes more in that episode." So we're shooting a couple of those because we're currently trying to fund the project, and we look forward to putting those out.
And you had a Kickstarter, and of course we're not supposed to talk dollars,
No.
but you had a Kickstarter campaign.
We did have a Kickstarter. It didn't make it, but I was always planning on funding the campaign myself. So it was hopefully going to provide some supplemental funding. What we're going to do now is post up something like a PayPal donation button on our website, so that people who would like to fund can do that. But I'll be carrying us forward anyway, because this is something that has become very much film is a passion, narrative film is a passion. And so many people have enjoyed reading the script or trying out or doing that sort of thing that I feel strongly that we should go forward with it.
Let's pull up another slide too, and I think this one's also, I don't know if it's the same film project, but is this the same project?
So this is a different